You work in a school that could lose federal funding, and if you lose your job because that federal funding is gone, you'd be okay with it?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would, for the greater good, for America. He's making America great again. He's doing the right thing.
Well, good morning, honey, or good afternoon, or good whatever time it is when you realize you've been doom scrolling again. I just finished my first cup of coffee, and I've already seen something so predictable that I had to put the mug down. And you know I don't put the mug down lightly. So apparently, a certain slice of the internet is now having a full-blown kitchen table meltdown because, wait for it, the economy they voted for is happening.
I just wanted to come on here and say I'm sorry. I voted for him and I thought he was going to make things better for folks like us.
I cannot believe it. Gas went from $3.55 up to $4.19. That is a 64 cents increase in one day. One day. Now you explain that, President Trump.
Tariffs, supply chain wobbles, inflation ticking back up, markets getting nervous. All the things that economists and, reality said would happen. And now, the same people who cheered on the trade wars are shocked.
I don't know who dropped the ball in Washington to allow these prices, its trade to diminish like it has. But somebody dropped the ball. Somebody wasn't looking out for us.
On his farm here in southern Georgia, Franz Roland is taking stock of the last year and fearful of what's ahead.
Trump says, be patient. The farmer's going to be better than ever. Well, you better hurry up.
Shocked, I tell you. Like they just found out rain is wet. I've taught 14-year-olds with better cause and effect skills. Frank, my late husband, God rest him, was an electrician, and he used to say, you can't rewire a house with wet matches and hope. And that's what this feels like. A whole lot of hope, very little wiring.
It cannot be more clear that Americans are getting ripped off by these gas companies right now. We're getting squeezed at the pump. They're raking in nearly $3,000 every second. That's almost $37 million a day more than they made last year. Meanwhile, we got to choose if we're going to fill up our tank or put food on the table.
Hi, Miss Kathy. Well, it looks like the time has come for yet another We Told You So. Because, Miss Kathy, do you remember when you and every other conservative on this app were so excited when Trump announced that 170 boats were headed to the United States to buy our sweet American oil? And back then, you guys were convinced that the reason Trump shut down the Strait of Hormuz was all some 4D chess move to force the rest of the world to start buying American oil. And you guys actually thought that this would make us rich. In fact, let's see what you had to say back then, Miss Kathy.
Countries from across the world are sending empty tankers to come and fill up their fuel here. I mean, we welcome it because that just means more revenues for us.
More revenues for us, right, Miss Kathy? I'm sorry you had to learn the hard way that you don't own an oil company, so it was never going to help you when other people sold oil. Anyway, Miss Kathy, I thought you should know that in this video, your makeup filter accidentally jumped onto Donald Trump's face in the background. Look at it. Look at how cute he looks with the makeup on. Hilarious. All right, Miss Kathy, hopefully at some point you realize that Trump doesn't care about your financial situation at all. You'd think that you guys would have realized that when he literally said that to your face.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation.
What'd you make of that?
Yeah, that's bullcrap.
But no, you guys always ignore exactly what he says in order to keep pretending he's a superhero. But hopefully you figure it out someday, okay? Okay, good luck. All right.
Oh, bless my soul and call me early for supper. Before I even get into the economics lesson this young man is handing out, I have to point something out. The lady he's talking about, bless her heart, she had a filter on her face so strong it made her look like a department store mannequin with good lighting. And at one point, that filter slipped off her face and landed right on Trump's picture on her screen. So there's Donald Trump looking like a smooth porcelain angel, and she's sitting there with her real human skin like the rest of us. That's poetry, honey. That really is. And you know what? That's this whole mess in a nutshell. Everybody wants a filter. Everyone isn't comfortable showing reality anymore.
Peanuts, guys. It's peanuts. These gas prices we're paying right now is a small price to pay compared to if Iran gets their hand on a nuclear weapon. Don't y'all think? I mean, honestly?
Smooth over the rough edges. Make the bad idea look like a stroke of genius. And if you stare at the filter long enough, you stop seeing what's actually in front of you. That's how you get tricked. That's how you end up cheering for things that hurt you. All right, now, let me talk about this oil situation, because this young man is doing the Lord's work here. A while back, Trump told his people that several boats were heading to America to buy our oil. And Lord, the dancing that ensued.
For all you blowhard know-nothings out there that have been screaming for the last 2 months that Donald Trump is Bibi Netanyahu's puppet and that he needs to be more America first, let me tell you how America first he actually is, and you tell me who this benefits and why he did it. Prior to Donald Trump going into military operations, Epic Fury against Iran on February 28th, Strait of Hormuz was wide open, right? You were loving the gas prices. They were all great. Donald Trump said, look, our economy is strong enough to go take care of these assholes right now so that we never get a surprise jump in gas. We never get anything halted. We don't have these people. We're not relying on these people for the world to move and for the world to get their energy, right? Donald Trump goes in. Strait of Hormuz closes down. Iran reneges on their deal. They decide that they're going to go back in and shut it down again. Donald Trump says, no, you want it shut down? We're going to shut it down for good. Shuts it down for good. And all of a sudden, right now in the Gulf of America, there's 171 massive large oil carrier tanks empty, ready to fill up. Guess what they're getting? They're getting cheaper oil, they're getting better quality oil, and they're getting it from a country that they know is never going to have a blockade, that no Muslim country is ever going to be able to manipulate, stop, impede in any way, shape, or form.
You would have thought he personally parted the ocean. He's a genius, they said. He's playing chess while everybody else plays checkers, they said. But here's the thing nobody had bothered to explain. When foreign boats come and buy our oil, that oil leaves. It goes on those boats. It does not stay here for you to put in your minivan. So now you have less supply at home.
Farmers and truck drivers and really anybody reliant on diesel is being forced into making tough decisions here in Iowa and across the country as this war continues to drag on. They tell me that they are being pushed in many cases to their very limits.
You can't lose money year after year after year and keep the business going. And that's the scary part right now.
Which means higher prices at the pump. Which means you are standing at a gas station with your wallet open, trying to decide if you want to fill the tank or buy groceries. And now those same people are screaming about how oil companies are making record profits. Well, of course they are, honey. You handed them your wallet and said thank you. Frank used to say, you can't sell your firewood and then complain you're cold. And right now, a whole lot of MAGA folk done sold their firewood. They did a little victory lap, and now they're shivering in the dark wondering why winter showed up. It's called consequences, honey. Even my youngest grandson knows not to play with fire, and these people just don't learn. What a shame.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? Huh? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this shit, whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay, I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not. If he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country. Because I'm not dealing with this no more.
Oh, sweet mercy. Now, I don't know if this man is being serious or if he's doing that thing my granddaughter likes to call
2,000 years later.
Parody. That's the word. Took me a minute. Ellie says it's when someone pretends to believe something so hard that people can't tell if they're joking or not. And frankly, honey, we are living in the golden age of that problem. So this man is on camera complaining that Trump cut his food stamps. And I believe him because this actually happened to a lot of people in 2025. In fact, many almost went hungry during Thanksgiving. Imagine that. A whole lot of people. And here's the part that gets me. Many of those people live in red states, deep red states, states that voted for Trump like he was running unopposed. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not laughing at a man who can't feed his kids. That's not funny. It's just sad. My mama used to tell me, girl, you laugh at somebody's fall, you best pray you don't trip on the same crack tomorrow. And she was right. Misfortune doesn't ask for your political party before it shows up at your door. What is worth noting, though, is the silence. Because these same folks love the idea of disability checks when a back goes out. They love the idea of farm bailouts when a tariff war kills their crops. Just last year, we saw Iowa farmers, Nebraska farmers, farmers in Texas, and many other states crying their eyes out after Trump's policies gave them a harvest of regret. And suddenly, farm bailouts didn't sound so much like socialism anymore. They love the idea of government stepping in when the government is the one who broke their leg in the first place. But only when it serves them. Only when the check has their name on it. I remember back when I was teaching, I had a student named Jordan. Good kid, smart. Came from a family that talked a lot about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. And one winter, his daddy's construction work dried up. That family quietly went down to the county office and signed up for assistance. And Jordan came to school one morning looking like he'd swallowed a thorn. And he said to me, Mrs. B, my dad says we ain't never taken a handout in our life. And I looked at that boy and I said, honey, that's not a handout. That's your neighbors. That's your tax dollars you already paid. That's people saying nobody should go hungry while we figure things out. Pulling together isn't some wicked idea from hell. It's how people survived winter before there was a grocery store on every corner. You help me fix my roof, I help you split your wood. But somewhere along the line, the Republican Party convinced a whole lot of people that accepting help makes you weak, unless the help is for a farmer or a coal miner or a veteran or someone who looks like them and votes like them. Then it's a rescue. Sad part is, many of the people who voted MAGA foam at the mouth when they hear words like assistance and food stamps. Right now, a whole lot of grown adults are failing the same test Jordan's daddy failed, thinking pride fills bellies. It doesn't. Groceries do. All right, folks, you just got done watching the Bitter Biscuit, aka Miss B. Just an old retired history teacher keeping the truth alive in these crazy times. Now, my granddaughter Ellie, who knows more about this internet nonsense than I ever will, she gave me one rule. She said, "Grandma, never ask anybody to subscribe at the beginning. It's desperate. And you're not desperate. You're just old." So I waited until the end. But here's what I will say. If you enjoyed what I did here today, it's because I had somebody to help me. I'm not tech savvy, never have been, but I've got a good head on my shoulders, and Ellie keeps me sharp as a tack with all this YouTube work. So go easy on me. And honestly, this keeps me thinking. Keeps me from just yelling at the evening news like so many folks my age. So do that little thing, you know, press the red subscribe button, hit the bell, oh, and like the video. I think that's what Ellie told me to say. And let's meet right back here for our next lesson. Oops, I mean our next video. Bye now, baby.